I'm back with a semi-sneak peek, a follow-up sneak peek of Valley of the Dead. Now, a lot of you, I explained a few weeks ago that I would be kind of updating you on some of the a little bit more progress I've made on Valley of the Dead. I've added just a ton of trees over here. You can barely make these out, but you can see the white tip branches, the smaller things, kind of shooting over the Valley of the Dead. I still got a lot of work to do up in this area right here, and the same with over here too. So I'm basically kind of just working my way down a little bit better. And of course, in the center section is the Valley of the Dead, the tombstones, and it's like a valley down there. You don't want to wander down there. Like I said many times before, you may not come out of this area if you're looking for loved ones, the tombstones, the crosses, whatever you want to call it. So I've come up with a better idea now. I have finally figured out what I'm going to do in these sections right here. I'm going to make really large rock formations right up here. And it's going to actually have a much more deeper look from this part down to this part right here. It's really like you're standing on a cliff type area right up here. And both sides are going to be kind of similar. And then you're basically looking way down into the Valley of the Dead. Yeah, I've been kind of just toying away with, like I said, you've seen a lot of this before, but I've been kind of toying away with all these new, dead branch formations, dead limbs, trees, stuff like that. I'm trying to fill out all this area to give it a little more highly detailed look. You can't really see it on this particular video, but trust me, there's tons of twigs and things sticking up and dead branches sticking this way and sticking that way and every way. And of course I worked on the moon a little bit more, so basically it's kind of like a after dark type of a painting, looking at a graveyard, an ancient graveyard down here. I always come up with these goofy little stories, and when I start to create a painting, I basically always think about, well, what am I trying to do here? I mean, am I trying to give a sense of a post-apocalyptic type of view, sort of like the stuff you see on YouTube, whatever, the post-apocalyptic videos and stuff like that? I mean, those are all just digital paintings. I do everything with a paintbrush, folks. Oils, acrylics, This is your standard 14 by 18 canvas. And next time you see this, it will be done, because I got some really good ideas for up here. I mean, it's going to be like rock formations up here, like maybe like cliff type areas. And the same with over here too. So when you look downward up from this angle right here, you're looking at like a mile straight down, 2 miles straight down to the center section right down there. This is where you get into the Valley of the Dead, right in this general area right here. If you dare take the path, right, and wander down in this area, try to find whatever you're trying to find, you may not come back. You may not come back. I would not recommend that you go into this area. You can look at it from on top of these new giant rock formations I'm going to create. Look down at it and try to figure out what the hell is down there. Is that tombstones? Yes, it is. I need a drink of water, folks. So I got a little bit different setup. I got some different type of curtains now behind me, and they're more silky looking. And I'm kind of filming this in a dark tone because the painting is really supposed to be after dark, with just the moon up here basically, illuminating the center section or something like that, right? I want this to kind of have a sense of maybe, really gloomy and doomy, and, there's not much hope here. This is really like the Valley of the Dead. That's why I came up with the title Valley of the Dead, because I wanted to kind of come across and do a painting that was basically really, really gloomy. I can't think of any other words I could really talk about, because basically I'm always coming up with those goofy little ideas in my head, but like I said, when you see this finished painting in a few weeks, it should be only a few weeks from now, all this section right here, like I said, will have a giant rock formation, big cliffs or something like that, you probably won't even be able to see most of this stuff right here because it's going to basically be a little higher than this stuff right here. So it's going to go up like this, maybe over like this, and then there's the pathway down there, like I said, leading into the Valley of the Dead, you know, stuff like that. You can see the darkness right there. That's actually like a pathway, you know, coming from basically this area over here. You know, you just happen to venture upon this particular scene, and you just kind of go down there and go, hey, honey, should we go down there? No, I think we should stay right about here, babe. I think we should, right? I think there's trouble down here. There is trouble down here, and you really don't want to go down there. You may not come out again. Man. So, I'm going to be showing a clown painting I'm working on in a few minutes. I'm going to do a really short video on that. Decided to do a clown, and he's actually behind me on the floor over there, you know, ready to be displayed. So right now I wanted to I told you I was going to kind of do another secondary sneak peek on this painting, and that's exactly what I'm doing. You know, when I do these paintings, you know, I always think about what kind of a story do I want to tell? Do I want to, you know, basically tell a story of, you know, maybe it's the end of time or something. You never know, man. This is the fate of mankind, you know, right here, man. You know, because what's going on in the world, you never know. Or we're all going to end up in this area someday, aren't we? You know? You can call me Summer from now on, because that's going to be my new transgender name. So, you know, I think you've already seen my rowing videos, and you know exactly where I'm heading in the direction of my life. So, but enough with that. So anyway, I wish you could see some of these. I don't know how this painting is going to post on my YouTube channel, if it's going to be this bright or if it's going to be slightly darker. I have the brightness set at 98, which is fairly low, because I wanted to make sure that this is a more of a dark after, you know, an evening type painting, not mid-afternoon or morning. You know, it's just all being illuminated by the moon right up here, you know, especially with the background right there, the horizon, and then of course you get down here to the foreground, which is actually pretty cool. You kind of, like I said before, I've got some actually cool paintings on the way right now, man. I think if you like stuff like this, you're gonna like what I'm working on, because I've been addicted to painting in the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, even though I'm still making my Penny the Lonely Clown videos and Spidey Presents and my rowing videos and all that kind of stuff. But I still do all this in my spare time, because I only work 2 days a week up at my crappy job, which is going to end pretty soon for me because I've had enough. It's time to move on with the second phase of my life, you know, back into the artwork world again. So anyway, like I said, all these trees were just recently added, like this one right here. You know, I got it tipped out in white, so it kind of blends beautifully with the background here. You can actually see it, it kind of stands right out. I'm going to be, you know, like I said, I'm going to keep adding more detail in here slowly but surely. But I'm getting pretty darn close to adding all the detail in this section right here. Maybe a little bit more in the center, more visible tombstones. I'm not really too sure yet. You know, the thing with painting is that, you know, you put it aside on an easel, right? Sort of like the easel you're seeing right here that it's perched on. And you kind of basically, what you do is you know, set it in the corner of your room and you kind of look at it, you know, after you've done a whole bunch of work on it, you know, like a couple days earlier or something like that, and you go, you know, I think this is turning out pretty good. You know, I found a niche in this area right here, you know, and the same with over here. You know, I'm still going to tip out some of the stuff over here, a little more bright whites and stuff like that. So you can see some brighter whites in here, you know, like down here, all this kind of stuff. And same with on this side here. So this section will actually be a little more tipped out in white, the high rock points and stuff like that. The same with this over here. So basically it kind of looks like a diorama box where you're kind of looking at it and then your eyes are drawn to the center, but you're still noticing all this detail and all the highlighting over here on these rock cliffs, slopes, whatever you want to call them. They're kind of going downward into the Valley of the Dead. A lot of people always go, well, why do you keep calling your paintings like really? Well, because that's what I'm doing right now. I got this morbid fascination with post-apocalyptic type paintings, like, burned out cities, devastated by nuclear war. Yeah, everything is burned out. It looks like there's rubble all over the damn place. The buildings are crumbling. Everybody's pretty much been, they're gone, man. Except for maybe it's like a zombie type life. I like that kind of stuff because I look at some of these movies that have been coming out the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years and I go, those are kind of cool, man. It's kind of cool to create stuff like this because, you can put your own spin on it. Like I said, I've got a few other paintings in progress other than what you're seeing here. And of course, I'm not going to show those to you tonight, but I am going to keep working on those. And every time I think I've got enough to show you a sneak preview on the other paintings I'm working on in my back, my art room over there. It's called my workshop. What do you want to call it? I basically just kind of like, all right, let's see what people think about it. How about that? We're up to about 12 minutes. We're going to knock this off about 20 minutes. I don't want to keep honing on this more than 8 more minutes. But basically, you kind of get the idea how much more work I have put into it up to this point right here. This is about basically right there. I just got to finish this, like I told you, higher rock formation, cliff formations, whatever you want to call them, kind of making this more like, let's go down here and let's go down here. You don't want to do that. Anyway, if you have any questions about this painting, comments, I always appreciate comments, and I think when you see, let me get a drink of water here because it's about 11 o'clock at night and I want to get this posted on YouTube. Same with that clown painting, I'm going to give you a sneak preview in just a few minutes. But anyway, things are going pretty good for me right now. And we won't discuss my transgender woman stuff I'm working on right now. You know where I'm going, LGBTs type stuff. So basically, but I still like to do this kind of stuff just because, I am doing other stuff in my private life. Doesn't mean I'm not going to give this kind of stuff up. Like I said, I'm working on a clown, which is right back behind those curtains behind me. And it's just kind of in the rough stages, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. How about that? We'll do a separate video on that because I don't want this to interfere. I don't want to put the clown video, take this off the easel, then put the clown video up there because I got to adjust the lighting on my webcam and for the clown portrait and stuff like that. So I want to make sure these are two separate videos. So I'm kind of basically just kind of winging it. I worked on the clown today. I worked on this one a couple days ago. Now, actually, one thing I did do too was about 1 week ago, I sprayed this. I covered the surface with a flat satin finish, which basically seals the paint. Just Krylon or something like that. There's tons of companies that put that stuff out for artists, and you can buy it at art stores or wherever you want to buy. There's a zillion places. And what it does, it takes a few minutes to dry, and basically what it did was it kind of darkened this painting out a little bit. It was a little bit brighter before I sprayed it about 2-3 weeks ago, and then I just let it dry. It takes about 10 minutes to dry, but you still can smell it because it's like a lacquer basically. And the lacquer smell goes away within a few hours or whatever. You really can't smell it after a short while, but it does seal in the paint, and it basically has like I said, it has a tendency to kind of darken things up, which that's exactly what I was going for when I did that, because I've done that on a couple of my other paintings over the years, and I kind of like the spray that you can buy. And I just give it a nice misting, and it basically it gives the effect that you can actually touch it more, because all these formations are completely sealed. Even though they are dry, they're completely sealed to the touch, where you can pretty much, put your forearm on here or something like that and work on some detail down here without smearing paint and stuff like that, So you got to be really careful. I kind of like, I don't like keeping my hands off the painting. And when I got to touch something and put my forearm on, I want to do that, That's why I wait for these paintings to dry appropriately. It takes, I don't know, a few weeks for all this paint to really dry thoroughly and harden up and stuff like that. And then, of course, you got the overcoat, like I just talked about, the satin overlay spray. What do you want? What do you want to call it? So, and that way, when you're doing some paintings, you can actually, if your forearm has to touch up here, this crap is dry, so you don't have to worry about it smearing and getting on your forearm, which is actually good. I'd recommend that too, But we're up to about 16 minutes. We're going to kill this in about 2 minutes. Ooh, that was a bad choice of words for Valley of the Dead. We're going to kill it. Woo! Anyway, I seem to be getting a decent response on my artwork. And one thing I'm going to be doing, as I probably mentioned before, I used to sell prints of my artwork many, many, many years ago before I kind of got into a slump in painting and went in another direction in my life. So we're going to be making prints of this painting, professional prints on archive paper and stuff like that. And we're going to be selling the prints, probably on all the major outlets like, the art stores and eBay and, all the ones where you can actually sell prints, 14 by 18, Bradley Enfield, Bradley T. Enfield right there, date. It'll be you can frame it, of course, or just put it up on your wall, or, if you like to collect artwork, even though this is gloomy stuff, you can still do it. You'll be able to buy a print from me. That's going to be coming pretty soon. So I got 2 paintings already ready to go to that next process. Like I said, you already saw one called Shadowlands, and you already saw one called The Road Home. Those paintings are completely ready to go to the professional reproduction companies that make these prints for you, and they scan them and everything, and they basically, find out if you like the way they did it and stuff like that. If you do, you can just knock off about 30 prints and stuff like that. Pay the money that you got to pay for it, of course, and then start setting up some kind of sales on the internet, So that's where I'm going to be going. So you can expect that to come real soon again. This will be the 3rd painting in the series, and of course many more paintings to come. Including the older ones I kind of showed you months and months and months ago on my YouTube channel. But like I said, now I'm kind of more into a darker mode, so to speak. So we're going to be, like I said, I think you like some of the paintings I'm working on right now. I'm not going to show those to you right now. You're just going to have to wait. Oh, I bumped that pretty good, didn't I? Oh! There we go. I think we're okay. It looks pretty much set okay. I think we did a good job. Whew, that was a close one. I think it looks pretty straight, so I think I bumped it just a little bit, but don't worry about that. Anyway, if you have any comments on this painting, feel free to, comment on the YouTube video below, and if you want to give it the thumbs up, you want to basically, ask me how I did that, how I did this, what would you like me to paint, even though I have my own ideas. I have thousands of ideas in my head anyway, so it could take me 10 lifetimes to do everything I want to do. So I got this new silver easel, which I think is kind of cool. I like the way that these 3 silver doodobs are kind of like, it kind of looks like it's kind of like, I like the way that looks. Decided to switch to a silver easel because I felt like it, well, you can see the effect right down there. It's kind of cool looking. It looks like it's actually sitting on a table or something, even though it's like 4 feet off the ground all the way down, stuff like that. So, but like I said, I'm going to call this video over. And if you want, like I said, you want to comment, give the thumbs up, you want to, you want to hit the view. I hope I can give me some views. YouTube hates me, so I don't adhere to their community standards. Apparently, I'm just like I'm a cellar dweller. Anyway, that's how I'm gonna. So, watch what's painting coming up on YouTube. You know, give me some comments. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, we will see you at the art store.